What inspired your guys' podcast's name, A Touch More?
I'll tell you exactly where it came from. All right. It's like peak pandemic. We're all stuck in our homes. Megan and I decide we're going to go on IG Live like weekly, and we're going to like do this show, whatever this is going to be, we're going to do it. And then at one point we're like, all right, we got to think of a name. Probably like a couple weeks prior to that, it was pandemic. We didn't know if we were going to play the season. It was an Olympic year. Like there were so many unknowns, but we didn't know what the hell was going on. So it was like, do you keep working out? We're obviously eating, drinking, doing whatever you're needing to do to get by. Mm-hmm. So like, and where are you going to work out? So all of that was like out of whack. And at one point, I was like getting in the shower or something. So I'm naked and I look over and I'm like, do I like look the same? Like how are things looking? Because
you access to Meg?
Yeah,
or to yourself?
Megan, yeah.
Okay.
No, to myself.
How you doing?
Self-talk on another level. That is self-talk on another level.
Get in the mirror, you could ask.
No, I say it to Megan. I'm like, how are things looking? And she's like, yeah, like, yeah, it's the same. I'm not convinced. And I'm like, well, what the fuck what was that? She's like, well, like, just like, you got a little, like a touch more. It's like a touch more there. And I was like, oh.
At least she was on.
And that is why our podcast is named A Touch More.
Wait, so how did that conversation end?
Yeah. I was like, well, you listen, there's sometimes you need to lie. And that was one of them.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Ben needs to learn how to lie sometimes.
I appreciate honesty.
I dyed my hair darker recently. And I was like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah, I like you more blonde. But like, at least we don't look like siblings now, like maybe we still do, but who knows? Like, at least we got different hair colors going.
It's like when their voice goes a little like higher, like, yeah. Oh yeah, right. I'm like, well, you're lying. Well,
Yeah, no, that's been everything.
You gotta do the Oreo method, like compliment, bad thing, compliment.
Oh, you mean a shit sandwich?
Yeah. I just get so pissed because I know that I can see that from a mile away. Like when someone starts with a compliment and I'm like, just fucking say what you want me to
So what do you want? You want you want the lie or the truth?
I want the truth, but just say the truth. You know what I mean?
Two things could be true.
No, just tell me what's wrong. Okay, bird's eye view. Wait, okay, but I remember like going to Seattle Storm games and there was like a little segment. What was that one called? On the Jumbotron. That was awesome.
Yeah, I remember this.
That was awesome. Wait, what was that?
Between two birds.
That was a good. The green screen.
Is that 3-point?
Yeah. That was a former life. We might bring it back though, but that was a former life. But yeah, Between Two Birds was like, it was a play off that show. I cannot pronounce the guy from The Hangover, Zach Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
There it is. He has a show called Between Two Ferns. It's like tongue in cheek, like dry, like super dry, where you're just really like fucking with the people. And we did that, but it was Between Two Birds.
Oh, it was so good.
But I'm not doing that anymore. Now it's Bird's Eye View.
I was gonna say we should bring back a version of Punk.
Wait, was that a thing? What?
Punked? Yeah.
Oh.
So you should be the producer of it and just like go with WNBA players.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
All the side quests for Sue now. I'm like,
just like every WNBA team that comes into Seattle, like on their way into the arena, I find a way to punk them. Yes. I kind of like it.
Hilarious.
Ooh.
There's no basketballs for shoot around.
Oh no. Give them a men's ball. That would be crazy. Do you remember that in the NCAA tournament they gave, was it UConn that had to play with men's ball? I think it was.
No, yeah,
anyways, okay, but what made you want to start Bird's Eye View?
Honestly, doing A Touch More is so much fun. We cover like all different topics around women's sports, try to have fun with it. Kind of where sports and like culture come together is more so what we talk about. But obviously we talk about the WNBA, and it was in those conversations where I was like, oh, I'd love to have like more like in-depth basketball conversations with the players, like more in-depth interviews. So that's kind of how Bird's Eye View, the idea came about. And that's basically what it is. I kind of talk a little bit at the top of every show about just like what I'm seeing that week or the last couple weeks, maybe a player, maybe a team, maybe a trend. But then majority of the show is just me sitting down with different players. I'm sure I'll have you two on at some point. Just talking about basketball. Some of it is like, you know, where they came from and kind of like why they are the player they are, like what got them to that point. And then eventually we'll get into the WNBA season, just talking about different aspects of their game. And I don't know, like what's challenging, what's been fun, everything in between. So it's been really cool so far.